You're watching Proverbs 31 Mom, your favorite Bible reader, and today we're reading the story of Moses. Let's set the scene. This takes place during a time where all of the baby boys are being killed. So this woman from the tribe of Levi gives birth to this little Hebrew baby boy and tries to hide him for as long as she possibly could. So had these Egyptian soldiers discovered this little baby boy, they would have drowned him in the Nile River. But instead, this mother placed him in a basket and floated him down this same river. So as the basket floated down the river, this baby boy's big sister, Miriam, followed the basket and saw that it landed where the princess, Pharaoh's daughter, was bathing. The princess hears this baby crying, feels sorry for him, and lifts him out of the water, hence the name Moses, which means to lift out. Are y'all tracking God in this? How is this baby being named Lift Out, who God is going to choose to lift his people out of slavery? Here's another crazy way that God works. Miriam, the sister, goes up to the princess and asks her, "Hey, do you want me to go find a Hebrew woman to nurse this baby?" He's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So now Miriam takes baby Moses back to their mama. And not only do the mama got her baby back, saved his life, but she's getting paid to nurse him. Look at God. Look at God. So now Moses is being raised right under the enemy's nose. And God is going to use that because now Moses knows all of the customs of the Egyptians. So he'll be able to hit them in a place that no other enemy ever could. God is smart and very strategic. Now your boy done grew up. Moses is a grown man, and he decides to identify with the Israelites because he is one. And so now he sees one of his people being oppressed and being beat down by an Egyptian soldier. And Moses decided to step up and defend his people, but that resulted in him killing an Egyptian soldier. But when word got out and got back to his step-grandfather, Pharaoh, Moses had to run for his life because Pharaoh was going to kill him. So Moses flees to Midian. He's in his new territory and he's over by a well. And he sees some girls being chased off by some shepherds who was just trying to get some water, so he defended them. I like Moses. So the girls go back and they tell their dad, who's a priest, this man helped them. And long story short, he ends up marrying one of these women named Zipporah. But not only did this priest give Moses his daughter as a wife, he also gave him a job as a shepherd. Now keep in mind, Moses used to live and work in a castle. Going from that to a shepherd would be considered a downgrade culturally. But spiritually, when God's got his hands on you, God says the last will be first. And jobs that we consider at the bottom is perceived high rank to God, especially when he got his hand on it. Side note, ain't it cool how the Lord calls himself our shepherd and not our CEO? All right, so a lot of years pass again. Moses is a grown man. Pharaoh dies out. He's replaced by a new one. And the Israelites' labor is so bad at this point that it forces them to cry out to God. I think this is a good lesson for Christians who don't have a healthy prayer relationship with God. Sometimes God will allow bad things, oppression, struggle to weigh you down if that's what it'll take for you to cry out to him. I'm at the point like I just pray to God and talk to him every day so that I ain't got to go through all of that to get his attention or his help. I guess technically I won't need it. But God heard their cry. And he came to the rescue like he always does because he made a promise. When God make a promise, he commit to it. So God remembers the promise that he made to their forefather, Jacob. We still talking about Jacob's boys. These are just their kids a lot of generations later. But they're still the 12 boys that's now turned into the 12 tribes of Israel. But not just the promise that was made to Jacob, also Jacob's father, Isaac, and Isaac's father, Abraham. This all stemmed from the promise that God made to Abraham. And so our takeaway from this message is, while we're crying out to God, God is already preparing the solution.